Hello, beautiful viewers down south throughout the cosmos. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting, captivating, stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What items will I be unboxing? What items will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, let me elicit the packaging. What tangible items are inside this box? Well, let me demystify the answer to that inquiry right here, right now, and subsequently render the contents of the box transparent. I'm going to utilize my nifty pair of scissors to penetrate through the box. I need to sever the seal, make an aperture in the box, and then extract the items from the box. This is arduous. I am feeble. I lack physical prowess. I am dainty. I am fragile. I am not a stoic warrior. I am not audacious. We have some glorious action figures inside the box. Alrighty. This is a MK action figure lot, or the Mortal Kombat action figure lot, which includes other action figures as well. I need to find Scorpion. They come in individual plastic bags. We have a figure from the Turok series, Jim the Earthworm. I also received another figurine with the lot. Now these 5 particular figurines that I purchased via eBay costed me a grand total of $25. They stand anywhere from 4 to 6 inches tall. We're going to scrutinize them in a bit. Alright. Am I content with this purchase and decision? I am. For $5 a figure, I believe that this lot warranted the asking price. I am gratified that he accepted my offer. Alright, one of the figures that was extracted from the box was Scorpion. His swords appear to be bent. They lack a sheath in order to hold them in. However, they can be mounted onto his back. So let me just flaunt him in front of the camera. Here's Scorpion, along with his corresponding accessories. I believe he's derived from Mortal Kombat 9. I believe he was a part of the 6-inch Mortal Kombat 9 action figure line. He coincides well with the prodigious 6-inch action figure collection. I love his deco. I love his aesthetics. His textures are of the utmost high quality. He has quality hues that contrast well with one another. He lacks any major paint splotches. His appearance emulates Scorpion's appearance in the Mortal Kombat series. This figurine has visual fidelity to the Mortal Kombat series. He has high quality shading. Unfortunately, his hand has fallen off. Is this figurine shoddy? Well, perhaps he is. If I cannot reattach his hand, that is an issue. I do not pay premium prices to procure figurines with severed limbs. This figurine's integrity has been compromised. His wrists are on a hinge. One fell off. This really agitates me. I'm infuriated. I'm irate. I cannot let this mar my day. It is what it is. I need to try to repair him later. His hand presently is detached from his body. His other limbs apparently are intact. I'm agitated that this transpired, but it's out of my control. Would I bought Scorpion for $5 with a severed hand? Probably not. However, I'm going to try to remedy this issue and reattach his hand to his body off camera. Alright, let's move on. This figurine is relatively mediocre. Why, you may ask? Well, he lacks articulation in his finger joints. His limbs are susceptible to becoming severed. And his weapons are relatively shoddy. His weapons are not of the utmost highest quality. Do not be deluded. Do not believe that these weapons are of the utmost highest quality from advertisements. They're embellished on camera. However, in person, you can physically feel them and tell that they denote poor craftsmanship. They're relatively flexible. They're bent. They're just disappointing. I love procuring action figures. I need to repair this figurine in the pending future. But for now, I'll just have to accept him for what he is. I do love the fact that he has a myriad of points of articulation. He lacks the upper bicep swivel, which is unfortunate. His knees do not appear to be double jointed. He lacks the ankle pivot, so this figurine is not flawless. Alright. We have Jim the Earthworm. He comes with an assortment of accessories. He has less than 10 points of articulation. This figurine was likely spawned in the 1990s. Jim the Earthworm is a video game character. His head is detachable. It can be launched if you click the button. On his backpack. You could fling the head around. I don't advise doing that. Some of the paint on the eye appears to have been chipped off. It may be arduous to tell on camera. However, if you look at it up close, you can see that he's not in mint condition. He is in decent condition though. Does this figurine have any pragmatic uses? Well, other than being able to be flaunted on a shelf and have his head launched, you really can't do that much else. He can be placed into a dynamic pose, even with his limited articulation. He has peg holes embedded in the bottom of his feet. His wrists can swivel. I love his gloves. His forearms denote that he's a relatively sturdy figurine. He's not very fragile. His joints are not very loose. He's relatively durable. This is a solid figure for the 1990s action figure standards. By today's standards, he's subpar. However, he's still a welcomed addition to any prodigious action figure collection today, because Jim the Earthworm is an iconic character that coincides well with practically any action figure collection, comprised of 6-inch figurines. He appears to be at least 5 inches tall. He scales well with an action figure collection. He has a holster for his gun. His articulation is very limited, so bear that in mind. His capabilities are finite, but for $5, this figurine certainly does have merit. So, those are my thoughts about Jim the Earthworm. Moving on, we have Raiden from Mortal Kombat 9. This figurine undoubtedly has visual fidelity. He comes with a removable hat. It can be reattached, or it could be dismounted. It's up to you. His fists are clenched together. This is quite a nifty figurine. He lacks the ankle pivot. He has at least 14 points of articulation. I'm making an arbitrary assumption here, but it seems as though he has at least 14 points of articulation, if not more. His wrist can swivel. He lacks the swivel in the thigh. I believe he can swivel at the shin. What else? I just want to verify something real briefly. Alright, I was just verifying the anatomy of a human being. Just like a human being, Raiden, the divine god of thunder, can swivel his forearm and even his shin. More so than a human being in real life. I can swivel my forearm. Not as efficiently as Raiden, but I can still do it. I'm not ambidextrous, so it's arduous for me to rotate my shin. However, if you're ambidextrous, then perhaps you can rotate the majority of your muscles or your limbs. I lack flexibility. My body's relatively stiff. My body's relatively stiff. So, this is Raiden. He has quality aesthetics, quality hues, quality shading, quality textures. I love his sculpt. He appears to be relatively durable. His integrity has not been compromised. He can be placed into any dynamic pose that you see fit. It's unfortunate that he lacks finger joint articulation, but nonetheless, he is a decent figure. He appears to be roughly 6 inches tall. He can rotate most of his limbs. He lacks an ab crunch. Apparently he has a diaphragm joint, so I am relatively appeased with this figure. The rotation is not bad. You can rotate more than me, that's for certain. However, if you're ambidextrous, then perhaps you can outflex him. And perhaps you have more points of articulation than he does. Actually, I probably have more points of articulation than he does. I have finger joint articulation. This version of Raiden doesn't. Nor does the previous versions of Raiden possess finger joint articulation. His ball joints are seemingly a bit loose, which is a problem, so I'm not going to tamper with them. He'll be relegated to a shelf. Hopefully his joints can remain intact. Hopefully his limbs will not become severed. This is Raiden. Here's how he looks. I love these figurines. I love their hues. They just look like they came right out of Mortal Kombat 9. They resemble their appearances in Mortal Kombat 9. I used to have the Mortal Kombat Deception action figures. I no longer possess them, but I guess these will have to suffice. It's not like I have any other option. Here they are once again. Here's Jim the Earthworm. He seems like a sporadic character. I placed him into a glorious pose. He's poised to perform a body slam. Who will survive his fury? I certainly will not. I'm a feeble human being. Not a deity. Nor a mutant. Alright, next we have this other figurine. I'm unsure what his moniker is. Let's see if I can find his name. Bear with me one brief moment. I just want to refer to the eBay product listing. I'm unsure what his name is at the moment. It's an enigma. However, he's some type of monster or creature. I love his muscle tones. He can rotate at the waist. He can rotate at the head. I wonder if his legs are in a ratchet. Who knows? They cannot bend back all the way. Actually, one of them can, the other one can. Maybe the ratchet in the right leg has malfunctioned, and the ratchet in the left leg still functions properly. Who knows? I did not design action figures, so I did not know about their anatomy. His head can swivel. He looks like he's poised to thrust his blades into his opponent, and puncture their vital organs. I wonder what these are supposed to be. Perhaps they are elongated fingernails. Who knows? Are these supposed to depict blades or innate weapons? I do not know. I'm not well acclimated with the lore behind this character. Maybe he's from the Spawn series. Who knows? I have no idea who this character is. I can strive to find out later. So we have some random monster figure. That has 2 innate weapons that he can thrust out at any moment, apparently. These sharp fingernails can puncture nearly anyone's vital organs. They can penetrate through nearly anything. I wonder if they're fingernails or blades. Who knows? It seems as though they're not an external weapon, so that's an intriguing figure. Next we have someone from the Turok series. We have some hunter, apparently, who was likely produced in the 1990s. He comes with an array of weapons, such as a bow, blades. He has a knapsack. His breastplate appears to be removable if you opt to remove it. I'm going to leave it on right now. He has an eye patch. What else? Mediocre textures. Mediocre shading. Just a mediocre, bland figure. This figurine is not spectacular, nor is this other figurine spectacular. They're relatively mediocre. They're not stupendous in any facet. They're just mediocre. So, we have 3 relatively mediocre figurines with limited articulation. They can rotate. They're, actually, can he rotate? I guess you could say he can rotate his torso or his waist. They could wave their arms up and down. 360 degrees, but these figurines are not up to par with the Toy Biz Marvel Legends, nor are most figurines up to par with the unprecedented value that those figurines provided. So we have 3 mediocre, somewhat shoddy figurines. Part of the Mortal Kombat 9 action figure lot. And then of course we have 2 higher quality figurines. A part of the lot. I am not content or discontent with receiving a scorpion figurine with a severed hand, but maybe he'll provide a partial refund because I never intended to receive a figurine with a disassembled limb in mid-purchasing the action figure lot from him. So for $25, overall I'm gratified with my purchase and decision. I have no major qualms about it. I still would have purchased a lot even if the hand did not sever amid the transportation process and was listed in the product's description as not being attached to the forearm. So the adhesive has come off. It is unfortunate. It is what it is. I will repair this. Maybe I have to utilize hot glue to rectify the problem. Who knows? But I'll deal with this later. Overall, 5 figurines, $25 worth the price. Let me revamp that. Overall, we have 25 figurines for a grand total of $25. Are they worth the price in your opinion? Would you have forgone the opportunity to procure them, or would you have opted to implement the same purchase and decision as me? Please let me know in the comments below. Please feel free to divulge your sentiments. I'm curious about the decisions you would have implemented if you were in my shoes. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.